There is no ceremony for the day you stop being a kid. No graduation. No certificate. No adult sitting you down to say, "Here, now you know what you're doing." One day you're building blanket forts, convinced you'll live forever. The next, you're standing in a kitchen at 2 a.m., doing quiet math on rent, health insurance, and how tired you feel. And somehow, nobody warned you this was coming. Growing up isn't a milestone. It's a slow leak. And most people don't notice it happening until it's already done. Here's the strange part. Almost everyone feels like they're the only one who didn't get the memo. Like everyone else received some invisible instruction manual for adulthood, and yours got lost in the mail. You compare your inside, the doubt, the fumbling, the "am I doing this right?" to everyone else's outside. Their careers, their captions, their calm, and it convinces you something is wrong with you, specifically. It isn't. What if the discomfort you're feeling right now isn't proof that you're behind, but proof that the entire idea of arriving at adulthood was never true to begin with? Stay with this, because by the end, you'll understand exactly why you still feel like you're improvising, and why the people who look the most grown up are usually just better at hiding the same fear you have. That's not a guess. That's what the research on this actually shows. Let's start with something almost nobody talks about. Growing up quietly dismantles your imagination, and there's a number attached to it. In the late 1960s, NASA commissioned a test for divergent thinking, the ability to imagine many possible solutions instead of just one correct answer. Researchers ran it on a group of preschoolers. 98% scored at what they called creative genius level. The same children tested again at 10 years old. That number fell to 30%. At 15, 12%. Tested again as adults, it dropped to about 2%. It's one of the most quoted studies in the world, and also one of the most debated, since the original data was never formally published. But ask any parent who's watched a 5-year-old turn a cardboard box into a spaceship, then years later watch that same kid learn to color inside the lines. The pattern feels less like a myth and more like something we've all quietly witnessed. That's the first brutal truth. Growing up doesn't just add responsibility. It subtracts something, on a schedule, without asking permission. Here's the second one, and it's lonelier. Go back to age 7. You had friends everywhere. The kid next door, the kid in homeroom, the kid whose name you don't even remember now, but who felt essential at the time. Now look at your phone. Real friends, the kind you'd call at 1 a.m., probably fit on one hand. In 2021, researchers at the Survey Center on American Life found that the share of adults who say they have no close friends at all had quadrupled since 1990, from 3% to 12%. For men, it was worse, a 5-fold jump. Not because people got worse at making friends, because adulthood removes the structure that used to make friendship automatic, school hallways, dorm rooms, forced proximity, and replaces it with something that requires actual effort most people were never taught to make. Nobody sits you down and says, after 25, making friends stops being an accident and starts being a skill. So most people just stop trying and call it being busy. So here's where it gets interesting. You could look at all of this: the fading imagination, the shrinking circle, the mounting weight, and conclude the problem is you, that you're behind, that everyone else is handling adulthood, and you're the one quietly failing at it. But that's not the disease. That's just the symptom. The real truth is this: there was never a finish line called adulthood where certainty was supposed to click into place. Psychologists studying this exact stretch of life, the late teens through the 20s, found it so unstable and identity-shifting that they gave it its own name, emerging adulthood. Not because people that age are broken, because the entire premise that adulthood arrives as a fixed, finished state was always a myth. Your parents didn't feel finished either. They just stopped telling you that part. And once you see that myth, you start noticing its fingerprints everywhere, even in the way time itself seems to betray you. At 7, a single summer felt endless, a universe of days. At 35, entire years blur together, like your life is playing on fast forward. You didn't imagine that. One of the oldest explanations is almost pure math. A year to a 7-year-old is 1/7 of their entire life. That same year to a 35-year-old is 1/35. Proportionally, it should feel over 4 times faster. And it does. But in late 2025, neuroscientists studying brain scans of people aged 18 to 88 found something newer and stranger. As we age, our brains start making fewer distinct cuts between moments. Fewer scenes in the movie of our life. Less differentiation. Fewer edits. Which means more of it blurs into one long, forgettable scene. Scientists still argue about the exact mechanism. Almost no one disputes the feeling. The acceleration isn't proof you're wasting your life. It's proof you've stopped giving your brain anything new to cut a scene around. Then there's the part nobody puts in the highlight reel. The sheer weight of deciding everything, constantly, with no one checking your work. As a kid, someone else absorbed the risk. Fail a test, your parents got the call. Get hurt, someone else drove you to the hospital and paid for it. Now every decision is yours, and there's no answer key. Which job? Which relationship? Whether to stay, whether to leave, whether this ache you feel is something serious or nothing at all. Psychologists describe identity formation, figuring out who you actually are, separate from what your family and hometown handed you, as one of the heaviest tasks a person ever takes on. And here's the brutal part. It doesn't finish at 18. For most people, it's still actively happening well into their late 20s. You're not behind. You're exactly on schedule for a process that was never supposed to be finished by now. So if imagination fades, friendships shrink, time speeds up, and the weight never fully lifts. What's the actual point of growing up? Here it is. The one thing worth remembering after everything else in this video is forgotten. Growing up was never about reaching a state where you stop being afraid, stop being unsure, stop improvising. That state doesn't exist. It never did. Not for you. Not for your parents. Not for the person you admire most. What actually changes, if you let it, is your relationship to the fear. You start making decisions without waiting for the fear to leave first. You start rebuilding friendships on purpose instead of by accident. You start feeding your mind something new, on purpose, so time stops sliding past you unnoticed. Growing up isn't the moment certainty finally arrives. It's the moment you stop waiting for it and start living anyway. Somewhere, right now, a 7-year-old is building a blanket fort, convinced they'll live forever. One day, they'll stand in a kitchen at 2 a.m., doing the same quiet math you did. They won't get a ceremony either. But maybe, if this reaches them someday, they'll get something better, the knowledge that the fear never disappears. It just gets a quieter voice once you stop asking permission to begin. That's not a tragedy. That's just growing up. Send it to someone who needs this. Subscribe and thank you.